This is an example of how to do subtraction across zeros involving a word problem. Let's take a look at this word problem. The monarch butterfly migrates about 3,000 miles each year. I notice 3,000 miles is important, and I also notice about 3,000. So I know for sure that's not the exact number. All right, let's look at the next sentence. The first day they traveled 265 miles. That's going to be important. Let's look at the question. How many more miles do the butterflies need to travel? So how many more do they need to go? Well, I have two choices here. I could either add the two numbers together or I could subtract the two numbers. If I add the numbers together, my number is going to be larger than 3,000. So I am going to go ahead and subtract these numbers. I'm going to make sure that I line them up correctly. Here's my 3 comma, because this is thousands. And now I'm going to put 265 underneath it in the columns. And I realize that I'm going to have to subtract. So now I can begin to do that. I notice over here in the ones place that I have a 5 on the bottom. That means I'm going to have to borrow. So I go over here to the tens and I can see that there is nothing in the tens. And so I go to the hundreds. There is nothing in the hundreds. So I need to go over to the thousands and I cross off the 1,000. And because I'm going to take one of those, this becomes a 2. Where did that 1,000 go? Well, I shared one of those thousands right here. So 10 hundreds is actually 1,000. So I've shared that 10 right there. But I still need something way over here. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to share one of the hundreds. So instead of 10 hundreds, I'm going to have 900. And I'm going to share one of those groups of 10 with my tens. Now my 10 has something that I can borrow from. So I'm going to cross off the 10 and I'm going to put a 9 there and I'm going to share one of those 10s over here because I know that 10 ones equals 10. Now I can subtract. So I'm going to pop 5 in my hand, do that with me, 5 in my hand, and we're going to count up to 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is going to give me 5 down here. Now, when I go over to my tens place, remember I had already crossed this out. So I'm going to pop 6 in my hand and I'm going to count up to 9. So pop that 6 in there. 6, 7, 8, 9. That gives me 3. All right, over here in my next one, I can see that I have 9 up in the hundreds because remember we took one of those away, so it's not there anymore. I'm going to take the 2, I'm going to pop it in my hand, 2, and I'm going to count up to 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It gives me 7. I'm going to drop my comma down, and I notice there's nothing here. So I'm just going to take, now remember we made this a 2. I'm going to say 2, take away nothing, equals 2. So I'm looking up here, and I'm going to reread my sentence and see if I answered it correctly. The monarch butterfly migrates about 3,000 miles each year. The first day they traveled 265 miles. How many more miles do the butterflies need to travel? And I feel really confident that they need to travel 2,735 more miles to reach 3,000.